Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Lee, aka Rollin Thunder, and in today's video I'd like to talk to you about fuel. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of tea, and let us get into the video. So ladies and gentlemen, how are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. You join me on a evening rush hour commute, and lo and behold, we're stuck in everyday traffic. So the object of today's video is I want to talk about this whole E5 E10 fuel fiasco. I personally don't know the difference between what E10 and E5 is, but apparently it has something to do with the octane of the fuel. And what I can tell you is that E5 is apparently 99% octane, whereas the new E10 that's come out is apparently 95% octane. Now, for all those people that seem to know about fuel and whatever else, please forgive me if I get things wrong, because I honestly do not have a fucking clue. So you'll have to forgive me if I get a few bits wrong here and there. I am literally just finding this all out for myself just recently. And with regards to what the fuel actually does, apparently the E10 is supposed to be cleaner and give you more performance and make your engine run cooler, apparently. Don't ask me if that's true or not, I don't know, it's just what I've been told. Now, with that being said, I've also found out that this E10 does some rather nasty things to my fuel tank, and allow me to explain. Because of the plastic that my tank is made from, and again, please forgive me, I don't actually know what the material is, but it's some form of plastic, and I've been reliably informed by the guys down at Pro Twins that due to this particular plastic being used in the making of my tank, that the E10 makes the tank swell, and it also apparently makes the fuel lines swell as well. Now, like I said, how true that is I'm not 100% certain, but like I said, I've been reliably informed that the tank especially swells with this new E10 fuel. One of the guys that I spoke to down at Pro Twins on the phone today, I'm not going to tell you his name because I don't want people to start shitting on him or whatever, but I rely on, well, I don't rely on, but I respect his opinion and his views. He's been working for Pro Twins for quite a number of years, and I'll be honest, he fucking knows his stuff. This geezer is a fucking absolute legend when it comes to the different stuff that he knows about Ducatis. So with regards to this E10 fuel, as well as it apparently, in inverted commas, being more efficient and giving your engine a bit of a boost, it also likes to destroy my bike from the inside out. And as well as the tank swelling, I've also been told that it doesn't like the fuel lines very much because of the high concentration of ethanol. It actually eats away at fuel lines. Now again, please forgive me, I'm not 100% certain how true this is, but that's what I've been told. And if that's the case, then sooner or later I'm going to be in a shitload of trouble. And what do I mean by that? I mean, sooner or later my tank is going to swell to the point where I will no longer be able to put it back on the chassis. So as you can imagine, I'm not exactly 100% happy about that whole situation, because for me to replace my tank with another standard acrylic, plastic, whatever you want to fucking call it, material tank, for a second-hand one, I'm looking at the best part of maybe £500–600. For a new tank, I'm looking at somewhere in the region between £800 and £1,200, depending on where I go. So as you can imagine, I'm not exactly happy about that whole situation, and more so, I'm not exactly happy about the tank swelling in the first place. But as they say, it is what it is. And believe me when I say this, I do not want that to happen to my bike. But the problem I have, and maybe you guys can offer your opinions and suggestions with regards to this, my tank is only a 16-litre tank. I was actually thinking about getting a aluminium endurance tank, which is about 22 litres, for two main reasons. One, the increased fuel capacity, but also two, it won't expand like this plastic tank does. So that's my two main reasons for thinking about getting an aluminium, or aluminum as you Americans like to call it, endurance tank. I'm not saying I will get one, it's just an idea at the moment. I don't know what I'm going to do just yet. it's things that I need to figure out at some point in the very near future, because like I said, I can't be replacing my tank every fucking couple of years because the ethanol content of the fuel that I'm using is making the bloody thing expand. And not only that, also eat away at the fuel lines. And again, I don't know whether this is even possible. I don't know if it's possible to replace the rubber fuel hoses for maybe, I don't know, some sort of metal hose or flexible braided hose like you get with brake lines and such like. That's another thing that I've thought about. Like I said, I don't know if that's even possible, but if it is, I'm more than willing to have a look at that rather than having to go down the route of having to replace absolutely fucking everything. Because if I replace the tank, it means I've got to replace the fuel lines, which means I've got to replace the fuel pump, which means I would have wasted money on a new filter, and so on. But as well as that, the cost of the fuel these days, fuck me, per litre, right, and this is no fucking joke, per litre, the E10 fuel, which is now the standard unleaded fuel in the UK, is £1.37 a litre. So it's £1.37 a litre. To get the E5 fuel, looking at £1.55 a litre. Go figure. Considering the E5 used to be the old unleaded, and now it's become the super unleaded because it's got 99 octane and it's got less ethanol in it, or whatever the fuck it is. But what I don't understand is why they are making it so difficult for people to choose a decent fuel. I mean, fuck me, you do not need to be using super unleaded if you're just commuting. If it's a performance-based vehicle, like what I'm riding, or a performance-based car like a Skyline or a Supra or something like that, then fine, you know, knock yourselves out, go for the super unleaded. But I just don't know. It's fucking irritating because all I want is to be able to go to a petrol station, fill up with some decent fuel that's not going to cost the earth. But at £1.55 a litre in most petrol stations for super unleaded now, it's like, yeah, no. In the grand scheme of things, I'd rather take my chances with E10, if I'm completely honest. I know I could be running the risk of the tank swelling and the fuel hoses corroding and falling apart and whatever else. Yes, okay, I understand I'm running that risk, I get that. But is it really worth paying £1.55 a litre just to use E5 fuel so that my tank doesn't swell? And I don't know how marginal the swelling is. I don't know if it's a massive amount of swelling or whether it's just something that's, you know, occasionally it might expand, contract with the heat and stuff like that. I don't fucking know. But I just don't understand why this whole E10 shit's even happened. It's all because of the fucking, you know, eco warriors and all that bollocks. I mean, yeah, okay, fossil fuels will sooner or later die out. I get that. That doesn't mean to say that we can't fucking still use the standard stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Nope.
No, bruv, you're not outrunning me. It's fucking irritating, do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't understand why. There's all these different fucking fuels and different additives that are put in the fuels and so on to make them eco-friendly and all the rest of it. I mean, I'm not being funny, but my generation is fucked. Do you know what I mean? So why should we worry? Let this fucking let this world be looked after by the next generation, not the current one. Stupid bitch. There's absolutely no reason for us, being the current generation, to have to worry about shit that's going to happen 20, 30, 40 years from now. Half of us aren't even going to be alive at that point in time. I mean, I'm hoping I am, but do you know what I mean? I don't understand why fuel these days is becoming so expensive. You'd think with the technology and the science that we have today, we'd be able to fucking manufacture some sort of synthetic fuel that does the job just as well as normal unleaded, or some sort of synthetic additive that we can add to the E10 to make it like the E5 but not as fucking expensive. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a brand called Redx. It's a fuel additive that you can buy for diesel and petrol motors. I've used it quite a few times over the years. I do like it. It does help give the bike a little bit more of a boost. If that's even a thing. I do notice that when I use Red X, the bike's performance does improve marginally. I don't want to say it improves it dramatically, because that would be a lie. But I have noticed that using Red X, the pickup of the motor is a little bit smoother, it's a little bit fresher, if that makes any sense whatsoever. You know, she just feels like a younger bike again, if that makes any sense at all. It's just so frustrating. Why can't the people of the UK, or the world even, figure out what the fuck they're doing and stick to it? Do you know what I mean? There's so much shit going on at the moment in the world, like wars, famines, and whatever the fuck else. It's like they can't even get fuel sourced properly. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what the actual fuck is wrong with this world? Okay, dinosaurs are suffering for our pleasure. And yes, I know dinosaurs have been dead for millions of years. But you get what I mean. It's just frustrating. Because you do not need, like I've just said, you do not need to use premium fuel if you're just commuting. You are not, and I repeat this, you are not going to reap the benefits of performance fuel if you're not pushing your vehicle to its potential. Do you know what I mean? If you're pushing your car or motorcycle or whatever 100% everywhere, then okay, fine, you know, you do you. Do you know what I mean? Okay, fine. I do admit sometimes I am a bit heavy-handed with the throttle, but then again, who isn't? You know, who doesn't like giving their bike a handful every now and then just to prove a point, or to get themselves out of a bit of trouble, or to out-accelerate someone off a set of lights just because you think they're having a drag race with you? Do you know what I mean? It's like, everyone does it. I do it, a lot of the people I follow do it, a lot of people I know who ride do it, and even people in cars do it. They think they're having a race with a bike at a set of lights just because the bike's in gear, ready to go before they are. But like I said, it is what it is. But anyway, as I was saying about this whole E10, E5 fuel rubbish, now again, I don't condone what I've just done, but this old girl does need to stretch her legs. I'm sorry, she does. And riding around London ain't going to do it for her. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I hate the fact that she gets restricted to going 30-40 mile an hour in and around London, and only getting to stretch her legs when I hit the A3 or when I get onto an open stretch road where there's no traffic about. But I digress. With regards to this whole E5, E10 stuff, I don't know how long I'll use the E10 for before I finally bite the bullet and go back to E5. I don't really want to use E5, but if I have to, then I have to, I suppose. It's not like I want to, but if I have to, then I have to. I don't like the idea of having to pay an extra 5p a litre, or an extra 10p, whatever it is. So I'll give you an example. Including reserve, this bike has got a 16 litre tank, and I filled her up just after I finished work, and it cost me £14.20, and that's using the normal E10 stuff, and that's probably the best part of maybe 12 litres I put in, because I think she has like a 3 or 4 litre reserve. So as you can imagine, if I was to use the super unleaded, you can just imagine that would be a hell of a lot more expensive. So instead of it costing me £14.20, it probably would have cost me the best part, maybe 16 quid, which in itself is absolutely atrocious. You have to wonder how people can afford to use the E10 stuff, sorry, the E5, because like I've just said, the E10 is supposed to be the new standard unleaded, not the super unleaded, but the standard stuff, whereas the E5 is now supposed to be the new super unleaded. How they managed to work that one out, I don't fucking know. And yes, I do get global warming is a thing. I get that it's a problem. I really do. But at the same time, it's not my problem. Again, that sounds really selfish of me, and I just bit the inside of my cheek. Ouch. But like I said, it might sound like I'm being exceedingly horrible by saying it's not my problem, because at the end of the day, if the governments aren't going to do anything about it, why should we as the consumer do anything about it? Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense at all? I'd like to think what I'm saying makes some kind of sense. It may not be a lot of it, but it may be some sort of sense. This irritates me as well. Fucking idiot moped riders wearing flip front helmets with a fucking phone hanging out their side. Like, who are you and what do you think you're doing? Absolute scab. But anyway, it is what it is. What are you doing, you fucking idiot? Fucking clown. And this is safe, isn't it? Look at this. Someone's got a fucking bed and a wardrobe in the back of a fucking car. How safe is that? Fucking not. My God. What can you do, ladies and gents? What can you fucking do? There's absolutely no teaching some people, it really isn't. But anyway, like I always say, it is what it is. What is this fool doing? Why are you going so slow? What is wrong with you, you absolute tit? As always, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate all the likes, comments and subscribers that I get. You lot mean the world to me, and I love you for it. If you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure to smash that like button, click that bell and subscribe. And if you could do me a massive favour, give that like button a good old smash in, because it does help me out with the YouTube algorithm and it does help promote my channel to new people. So if you could do that, that would be absolutely amazing. And as always, ladies and gents, thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. Thank you for being part of my YouTube journey. As always, you guys have been absolutely fucking amazing. But for now, as always, ladies and gentlemen, you have been awesome. I have been Lee, aka Rollin Thunder, saying look after yourselves, look after each other, stay safe on the road. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, remember, be safe, be happy, and as always, adios!